Welcome to Rwanda Television News and the news in details. As today marks International Mother's Day, some women and mothers say or believe that a mother has an incomparable value in a family's well-being and development. They also emphasize its connection with the Rwanda's proverb that says that what one loses and never gets back is a mother. This is why it is believed that when someone loses a mother, he or she has lost everything, because only a mother can sense what's wrong with a child. And again, when a man loses his wife, a huge part of the family is gone. All I can say is people should value their mothers because they are irreplaceable. Personally, I never knew the value of my mother until I gave birth. After going through the challenges of raising a child, I loved her even more. A mother is the foundation of a family. A home without one lacks so much. President Paul Kagame tweeted to all mothers, everyone's mother, a very happy Mother's Day. We celebrate you. The First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, also tweeted about how mothers should take some time to retreat and rest. Mothers and wives, with the same pride and satisfaction that we gain from our ability to do it all for our families, let us also find that space in our lives where we retreat to rest and recuperate. And let us learn that it is perfectly okay to let go and to rest on someone else's shoulder so we can all become each other's keepers. Happy Mother's Day. Well, this Sunday morning, 10 people were injured in a gas explosion at a restaurant commonly known as Kwaan, located at the carpentry section of a business center known as Gachiro in Gisozi sector in Kigali City. Sam Kalisa has more on this report.
It was around 10 a.m. when a 6-kilogram gas cylinder exploded near a restaurant where some local workers eat. Those who were nearby explain what happened.
I
was at that side and I had an explosion, and when I was going there, I met a person bleeding, asking us to take him to the hospital. Some people came out of the house asking for water, and others went to the hospital immediately. When I reached here, I heard a huge explosion and a sound of broken glasses. Then a person fell right there, bleeding on his head, and others came out bleeding. Others had been burnt seriously because their skin had peeled off. After the explosion, we managed to get to the hospital, where the injured were being treated. They brought it when we were all in the house. Shortly after, we had something explode, and no one was able to run out. Broken glasses injured us. I heard a huge explosion, and suddenly I felt a burning sensation all over my body. People should be careful about how they handle and use gas for cooking. Dr. Mudelevu Alexis, a specialist in emergency medical services department at the Kanombe Military Hospital that treated some of those injured in the accident, says there is confidence they will soon fully recover. He also gave some advice. Except knowing how to turn the gas on and off, people should always lie down whenever gas explodes, because gas explodes upwards. People should also call the emergency team immediately. The Rwanda National Police also urges people to be careful when using cooking gas. It was clear that the 4 to 3 meter room was being used as the restaurant and the kitchen at the same time, plus the fact that the room had no windows. The gas cylinder had a hole. All of this contributed to the accident. Although we are responding to this accident, we are currently conducting inspections around the city of Kigali in order to see how hotels and restaurants use cooking gas. People should always be careful with cooking gas, as they are always told.
turagira ngo tubwire abantu rero mu by'ukuri bubahiriza amabwiriza n'abazigurisha ubundi babigisha uburyo bazikoresha.
As the number of people who use cooking gas to prepare meals continue to increase, the police advises them to be vigilant, as gas accidents can cause a lot of damage. Sam Kalisa, RTV News.
Thank you, Sam, for that report. Now, across the country, you will find that people are still gathering in their homes to pray, and restaurants that have become bars, things that go against the current guidelines to fight the spread of COVID-19. What has become evident is that such behavior is being seen in districts that have the highest numbers of infection. Sash Nore reports.
Hotel Urumuri in Gicumbi district is among the establishments that have been caught breaking the regulations after people coming from a wedding in Kigali went to it to drink and socialize and then left. Its manager was immediately arrested.
The
COVID-19 preventive guidelines were broken at Hotel Urumuri because one of our employees had a wedding in Kigali, and afterwards they booked a bus and came here to hold a buffet and then left again. We became aware that it was a problem after receiving them. Local authorities have now closed the hotel and say its management had been warned many times before this latest incident. I talked to them on numerous occasions about this sort of thing, sometimes going there with security personnel, but they would not listen. Now, when you consider that Gicumbi district has some of the highest numbers of COVID-19 infections, there cannot be any tolerance of this behavior. In Musanze district, some restaurants have been found to have been transformed into bars, while others use them for tontine meetings. The mistake we were found making is allowing people who have never taken a COVID test to dine here and also let them drink alcohol while waiting for their food to be prepared. There was carelessness on our part as people working in the hospitality sector, and we need to correct ourselves on this. We have a tontine with many members, but we no longer hold general assemblies. This was just a committee meeting to assess how our tontine is doing, and the police came and arrested us. From now on, we will be communicating to the authorities when we want to hold such meetings. In the last 2 weeks alone, 4 hotels and 5 restaurants have been closed in Musanze district. Hotels are allowed to provide meals, accommodate people looking for rooms, but they must first be tested so that they do not spread the virus during their stay. We must, however, remember that bars in those hotels are not allowed to function. On Saturday, 60 people were found gathered for prayers at a person's home, and after being tested, 8 were found to have COVID-19. Most came from the Adventist church and have certain beliefs, but those beliefs are not above the law. When we catch such people, we remind them that they have an obligation to preserve life and respect the preventive guidelines in place. Provincial authorities are also reminding the general public that the pandemic is still very much a threat. I am asking local residents to increase their efforts of fighting this pandemic by respecting the preventive measures in place, because not enough people have been vaccinated. We are still seeing people caught breaking the preventive guidelines that were put in place by the top leadership of our country, and they should be respected. The National Police is warning that no one is above the law. Thinking that you can open your hotel to more people than are allowed, use your restaurant to sell alcohol as if it is a bar, is not allowed. Increasing the capacity restaurants can receive from 30 to 50% does not mean that people can start breaking the rules and transforming them into bars, or that hotels should be filled to capacity and beyond, which is obviously causing problems. If places of worship are to receive just 50% of their capacity, it does not mean that people should transform their private homes into places of worship. The districts of Karongi and Gicumbi, where incidents of people breaking the preventive measures are highest, are also home to some of the sectors that have remained in a total lockdown.
All security forces in Rusizi district have arrested 12 young men who call themselves our men for stealing money from the public through fraudulent means using telecommunication by calling people on their mobile phones and telling them that a certain amount of money was mistakenly sent to their mobile money account. According to the RIB, the 12 detainees are between the ages of 19 and 28, and some are siblings. Some of them are former agents of telecommunication companies here in Rwanda. Most of them are based in Nyakarenzo, Gashonga, and Hungu sectors. The residents of those sectors say these cases have been around for a long time. These men were charged with 2 crimes, establishing a criminal gang and robbery by conning people. If convicted, they will be punished under Article 224 of the Penal Code of not less than 7 years but no more than 10 years in prison, and Article 174 of the term of imprisonment not less than 2 years but no more than 3 years, with which are added on a fine of between 3 to 5 million Rwandan francs. Now, this comes at a time when there is a widespread speculation in the region that money laundering is taking place in the name of tontons, where residents are told to provide 100,000 and get 800,000 in a few days, and others to give 500,000 and get 4 million, which RIB says is a crime of taking something from a person using deception. Now, members of the 9 sector savings cooperatives that have been digitized say it has helped them better access to services offered, as that all other circles and digitalized as well, so that they access their accounts wherever they may be in the country. Serge Nore continues.
The improvements at the sector savings cooperatives are clear to see after they were digitalized, with far fewer queues because everything is much faster. The advantages of digitalization are that things are much faster, and I only wish that all sector SACCOs would be digitalized so that we can access our money from anywhere, just like in other regular commercial banks. That hasn't been done yet. We used to queue up there with our account books, and now we are developing with everything digitalized and being done in a much better way. It has solved the problems of first looking for your account form, among so many others which took far too much time. SACCO managers are also hailing the digital migration. The members used to first come and ask for their account forms to be found before they could go to their cashier, and now they go straight to make their deposits or withdrawals. Finding those forms would take a really long time, and all departments were being affected, even accounting. Now the figures are right there and we can submit our reports on time. Of the country's 416 sector SACCOs, 407 are yet to be digitalized, and their managers say they can't wait for it to happen. We are still using account forms and booklets, which inspires little confidence from our clients. What with all those commercial banks out there using technology to safeguard people's money? Because we are not using digital methods of transacting, things are much slower here. We know that the situation will improve significantly after we go digital, and that is information we have from the SACCOs that have already migrated. Officials at the Rwanda Cooperative Agency are pushing for that migration to take place as soon as possible. 9 of Kigali City's sector SACCOs have now been digitalized, and the goal is for all others in the city to migrate as well during this month of May. You know that technology makes service provision much faster and transactions much easier. If it had not been for this COVID-19 pandemic, we would already have done this in all other parts of the country as well. However, in Gicumbi and Rubavu, we have gathered everything we need to digitalize their sector SACCOs very quickly. Up to 2.4 billion Rwandan francs have been stolen from Sector Sakos over the years, and many administrators have been prosecuted as efforts to retrieve the funds continue. The government of Rwanda has now provided 5 billion Rwandan francs to help their digital migration so that issues like that can be addressed once and for all. Close to 5 billion Rwandan francs has been injected to address problems in Sector Sakos and transform their operations. The cabinet decided it was necessary, and by merging all of those Sakos digitally, those weaknesses have been exposed and it requires money to address them. Sector Sakos have 3.1 million members across the country and have saved 81 billion Rwandan francs in their accounts. The Sakos have a combined capital of 21 billion Rwandan francs.
The Audio Democratic Party has called on its members to denounce those who slander Rwanda's good political agenda and distort the history of country. This was said on Sunday as the party trained young people representing others on national development strategies through the Ndi Umunyarwanda program. Some of the trained youth vowed to never diverge from the efforts of rebuilding the country and that they will strive to publicize the true history of the country.
We must know how to fight against deniers of the genocide against the Tutsi using any platform like the social media. We learned that those who deny the genocide know the whole truth, and some even had their hand in its preparation and execution. We as the youth should know the history of our country so that we can fight deniers with tangible facts. If science has proven that COVID-19 is out there, we as PDI members, moreover the youth, take a step to teach citizens about the effects of the pandemic based on the guidelines put in place by health authorities and help them to prevent those who want to mislead them.
The party's chairperson, Sheikh Musa Fazil Harerimana, stressed that the national development cannot be achieved without unity among all Rwandans and that ethnic discrimination should be strongly avoided in order to involve every Rwandan in the development journey. He added that in order to achieve this, the members of the party should be vigilant and see if what is being taught in different religious denominations, is in line with the national vision.
The vaccine to the hatred that led our country into the genocide against the Tutsi is Ndi Umunyarwanda. It was important to give them the vaccine and reminding them to keep it and use it to fight those who want to mislead them using social media and any other platform. They are always urged to embrace everything good and fight against everything evil.
On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.